Welcome to Narrative Tales, and happy holidays to all. For today's video, I'll be the one interviewed, and I'll talk about my hobbies and interests with Mayang Tyani, who was also a guest on this channel previously.
Hi, Soham. How have you been?
Hey, I've been pretty good. How about you?
I'm fine as well. So could you introduce yourself?
Mm-hmm. I'm Soham. I've started my high school this year, and I'm in Seattle, Washington.
Okay, so I would like to first ask you what made you start your channel and what have been your key learnings thus far?
Well, when I started this channel earlier this year, basically I came to my dad with this idea since I really did want to learn about other career options and things. And my dad thought it was a good idea, so he helped me network and get introduced to new people since he has all those connections that I could use. So from there we could start this channel.
That's nice. Could you tell us something more about your hobbies, your interests? What are your favorite subjects in school? Stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Some hobbies and interests I have. Well, I definitely have to name chess. I play a lot of chess and tournaments and stuff, so have to name that. Um, I think other interests I have would definitely have to be in coding and math. In my school, I'm in an honors geometry 2 with coding class, and I really enjoy that because it's just math and coding. And I think in coding specifically, I'm also very interested in AI.
That's interesting. That's nice. But how did you first get interested in AI? What was there like a moment, a video, or an idea that really hooked you?
For AI specifically, I think it was just having the opportunity to learn about it. I was able to take a summer course that taught me how to build AI models. So I think that's probably what got me more into it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I used to suck at maths. I'm much better now, but yeah, couldn't stand it in school. But so when you think about AI, what do you find the most exciting, and what are the things which worry you the most?
I think AI, as all new technologies, can always serve as a double-edged sword. Like historically, a lot of technologies that we built have been used as a double-edged sword. Like gunpowder that was invented for mining purposes obviously got transformed into weaponry. So, and I think for AI, that looks like there's a couple of cases where that shows up, like how it can be super useful in predictive AI, things like predicting the weather, being able to diagnose people, things like that, and beyond predictive AI, like image analysis, being able to check plants. I think all of these are incredibly powerful in today's society, and they're a huge leap in technology. But there's also the double-edged side to it, the sort of unethical side to it, like image and text generation, which by themselves are super impressive and useful. But you can go online and see that they've put a lot into just posting AI content, which in a sense isn't very, which can be useful, but it's not. Most of it does not have a big value. So, and for texting and chatbots, I think it's just, well, the obvious case is just how people could cheat with a chat GPT.
Yeah. And with the AI generated art, I feel like one can tell that it's not made by a human.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yes, but it's also an issue when it's for younger audiences who wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Exactly. And even the older audiences. Yeah, that makes sense. But do you think there are any areas where you think AI should be used with caution, or perhaps not even at all?
Um, Not at all. I think no. I think one area is when you're still young in school and you have to develop the tools for learning yourself. It's like the same reason you don't want to use a calculator too early because you want to get used to the math. I think avoiding ChatGPT to write your essays would be important for a while, but you should also your school should definitely offer the capabilities to learn about AI. I think another place is probably art and a lot of content creation where it should be used as caution as a tool. Like there's a lot of good impressive things people can do with AI as a tool, but like I mentioned before, there's a lot of just AI slop content that isn't helpful.
Yeah, that's right. So you also run a club in school, right? At school you have a club. It's called the Social Legs, right?
Hmm.
So what is it about? What do you do there, and like, what made you start that?
Yeah, basically we're going into our school community and looking for all like the biases. So the idea is by interviewing people, we can uncover some more of the unseen biases, especially when you're looking at like a prestigious school. Like you might think it's perfect, but there's a lot more to it, right? So when I started it, a friend came to me with this basic idea for the something similar and wanted me to co-lead it with her. So that's basically how it started in the middle of school.
Yeah. And how is it going so far?
Well, I think it's going well. We're still really early into it, and we just finished interviewing people. But I think it's been interesting. We just covered gender, so there's a couple of there's a couple of things you could find in our data.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Once you're done with the analysis, it would be interesting to see like the results and the insights. But yeah, are there any problems or issues in real life which you personally care about that resonate with you? And yeah, I think something that speaks to you.
Hmm. I think a big one is quality of life around the world. A lot of things that we have are not a constant everywhere. Like food, water, and shelter, access to those basic needs aren't a constant everywhere. And I think that's one of the biggest issues humanity needs to solve. And on a higher level than just those basic necessities, also quality education and access to quality food, not just like any food, but quality food as well. These are like big issues that humanity needs to solve.
So, Soham, you've grown up around technology through your parents' careers. Do you think it has shaped your curiosity or your inclination towards AI and tech?
I think it's pretty obvious that there was an influence. If both my parents weren't in the tech, I'm sure it would have ended up differently. But I think it's also wrong to say that it's only because of that or I was pushed into this field, right? Because the truth is I saw my parents around tech, yes, but I also developed the curiosity on my own, right? Like I wasn't pushed in this field. It's it's true that there's an influence, but I did pick tech of my own accord. Like I think it's interesting for myself.
Yeah, that's nice. It just seemed to align with your parents' interests, your interests and their interests aligned. That's nice. Along with your interest in technology, I know that you've been learning Hindi at Gurukul. So how has that journey been like? Like,
I think it's interesting to see where it started. When I started, I was so much younger. It's been so many years now, but I started under the need to talk to, well, my grandma because she only knows Hindi. She doesn't know English. So, I mean, it's been a long couple of years. Learning a new language is not easy at all, but I think it's very helpful. I mean, now I can speak Hindi mostly fluently. I mean, enough to communicate nicely. And I think that's really important when it comes to things like connecting with family and culture. And as for like my career and as I go on, I think knowing two languages, it's always better than knowing one, right? I can always connect with more people.
exactly. And I think you know more than two languages. You also know Spanish, I suppose, right?
I'm still learning Spanish in high school, so I won't say that I know it yet, but yeah, I'm learning it. And I think, I mean, other than just helping, other than just being a cool flex, being trilingual is also really good for talking to a lot of people, especially with languages as big as Spanish, English, and Hindi.
Exactly. Which do you find which one is the easier one? Like, do you, or are they all the same?
Out of these three languages, I mean, it's obvious that talking in English is the easiest for me. Obviously,
Obviously,
I mean,
yeah.
it's my first language, but I think Hindi is pretty easy now. I mean, the thing that really made it easy was the fact that I have people at home who speak Hindi, which it's just a sense of practice. And I think that's just it just makes it a lot easier. And Gurukul gave me a certificate for Hindi, but I will also be taking the state exam to prove that I'm fluent in Hindi on a more official level. So, I mean, it's wrong to say that I'm not good at Hindi too. So I think
Yeah. But that's pretty interesting because I thought you would say Spanish because of how similar it is to English. But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I think Spanish. I mean, they have the same roots as like what's the word Germanic languages. I think, but
Yeah.
that doesn't make it any much easier to learn. They're still different
Yeah.
enough, but it's Spanish is obviously one of the easier languages to learn as it follows the English alphabet.
Exactly. That's what I was coming to. Like Hindi has a completely different script of its own. And yeah. But that's nice, I think. All the best for your exam. Um, yeah, I would like to know about Steve, your neighbor Steve. I got to meet with him briefly when I was with you last year, and you seem to share a special bond with him. So, how would you describe that friendship?
Well, I think it's definitely like a mentoring friendship. I mean, for any adult too, it's just like once you gain that experience, it's and Steve's good at being like in this mentorship role where he can teach me things too. And we have a lot of conversations about his experiences in college and his job. So I think I do learn a lot from him. And because he was in a different line than the tech line, like my parents and a lot of my family, I get a different insight from that too.
That's nice. That's good. Yeah, he's a lovely guy to talk to. Do you have anything? What do you have in store for the channel? Like, do you have anything? Do you have anything planned for the coming year? Any goals?
What do I have stored for the channel? Um, I think now that I've finished like a year of interviews, uploading all these interviews, meeting all these people, I think it's about time I start experimenting a little. So whether that means using new formats, maybe working with AI tools to develop captions for my videos. I
Yeah.
think I think it's time to start experimenting some new things.
That's interesting. Yeah, that would be nice. Anything else, like in general, like in your own personal life, any plans for the coming year, any goals, any personal goals?
I think a lot of it is just focusing on my school, performing
Yeah.
well in my school, but also in extracurriculars like I want to reach like a much higher rating in my chess, and for coding as an interest of mine, I want to learn how to build large language models and things like that.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, but anyway, I think this would be it. Would you like to talk about something else, or is there anything else you would like to discuss?
You know, I was hearing this a lot from my dad in the news. India is now like debatably, arguably the number 4 economy in the world, and Delhi as its capital is I'd say one of like the liveliest cities around. But it definitely came to a shock. It came as a shock to me when I hear that Delhi has like 500 AQI of pollution in the air, and it's such a hot topic now that I can see it in like so many medias here in the United States, no less. I was just wondering, like, how does that affect day to day life, and what are the solutions for something like this?
Yeah, the situation is really bad here. The AQI is almost always in the severe or hazardous category. So it's really bad. Um, and the worst part is that the pollution that we're exposed to will have long-term impact on our health. So it's not something that would like cause seasonal issues, but long-term detrimental impacts for us, especially us in Delhi. Um, I don't really know what the government has done. Like I don't I would not like to comment on that. But most of Delhi's pollution is from vehicles. Like vehicular pollution, vehicular emissions are a big contributor to Delhi's air pollution. Also, Delhi's location, climate, the meteorological factors also come into play when, especially during winters because of the wind and all of that. So that is something that we cannot change. However, we can change people's behaviors, attitudes, and that is something that I find very interesting. Like Delhi has a very lucrative electric mobility program in the sense that they have a very, um, how do I put it, like a very um, they have a really good EV electric mobile policy. Like they have a very good EV policy, and it's just that people are not aware, or there is some sort of gap to like let everybody, like to inform everybody of the benefits of EV, and not only environmental benefits but also financial incentives. So I think there's that. Public transport, everything's there. The thing is that people are not. There's not enough awareness, and yeah, if you look at it, stubble burning is another. Stubble burning in neighboring states like Punjab is also another contributor, but that has been controlled. But I think vehicular emissions and yeah, construction activities, all of that, especially during winters. So what we do here during winters is that we come up, like when situation gets too dire, uh, the GRAP is imposed, which is an emergency action plan, but that is just a short term where they completely stop all construction activities and all of that. So I think GRAP 4 has been imposed. I don't remember when. I guess this week it's. I don't know. Yeah, but it has been imposed now. But that is just a short term it's not even a remedy, it's just a short term measure. So I think we need to look into the long term. Uh, First of all, you need to realize how harmful it is and then work towards a long term and more effective solution. But there is hope. I hopefully it won't be like this next year. And there have been like pretty impressive like changes in the sense that public transport system in Delhi is really great. The buses are almost all buses here are electric public transport in public transport. So yeah, I think yeah, it's really bad, but one can only hope for things to get better. Yeah, fine. I mean, it's been. I had quite fun talking with you, so it was a great conversation.
Yeah, it's been nice talking to you too.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next for you and for this channel.
Thanks for watching today's episode of Narrative Tales. If you enjoyed this interview, tune in for next year's videos and check out some of my other interviews as well.